Hello to all the gamers. It is a Saturday. Welcome back to Isaac. Check this out. Hey, baby, yeah, baby, yeah. A TRPG randomizer. Tainted Keeper. Central Park in Newark. That's Tainted Keeper. Yeah. I don't remember how this guy works at all. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Information comes into the brain. It lingers. It doesn't stay. Unless it's, like, highly relevant. Like, can I remember, which, noteworthy composer not only did the soundtrack and score to, I Heart Huckabees and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, but was also responsible for the production on Kanye West's album Late Registration? Yeah, that's John Bryan on the keys right now. The Rock is definitely in the building. Do I remember what Tainted Keeper does? Well, now I do. 2 HP. You buy things. Things that would normally be free even require purchases now. Does nobody else see how messed up this is? Thanks a lot, Janet Yellen. I don't know. And when you kill enemies, you also get money. How about that? Many people are saying this. It's a Saturday morning. I think I'm recognizing in myself that I am on the cusp of what has been one of my parents' long-term prophecies. You know, the Abe Simpson, I thought I was cool, then they changed what cool or what with it was, and now what's cool seems foreign and unfamiliar to me, and it'll happen to you too. Like, it's kind of like that, but it's not that specific prophecy. My parents have been telling me, hey, ever since I was 15 and thought I knew everything, they've been saying, one day, you should acknowledge how lucky you are to be able to sleep in. Because one day it'll happen, that you'll be so used to a morning schedule. Hold on, Dathinky. You gotta love the coupon here, right? You gotta love the coupon here, Al. This seems like an unbelievably, insanely good item. Yeah, okay, fantastic. Also works on deals with the devil, of course. Regardless, I think we're there. It's a Saturday. I went to bed 20 minutes later than usual last night. I've talked about it before, but I think there is kind of like there's a watershed moment in your life when Friday nights move from being like, oh my god, I finally don't have to get up early tomorrow, I can stay up late, to, oh thank god, I can finally indulge the fact that I'm a little tired and go to bed at a more reasonable hour, maybe sleep in a little longer. And we've been past that for a while, but, went to bed maybe 11:30 last night, 7 rolled around, woke up, my phone said, do you want to cancel your alarm? I said, yeah, that'll be fine. Why not? I think, it's tough. I was gonna say I think we don't buy it, and I think that's true. 15 cents is not for nothing here. It would give us a luck upgrade, but I'm not sure 15 cents, quite frankly, is worth a luck upgrade when you consider what it could give us if we have multiple great items in a deal with the devil or a shop here. So for now, I know this is... I honestly feel like, despite not knowing what the character does, apparently, I feel like I got my head screwed on straight with Tainted Keeper. I'm resurfacing some memories now, and I remember that I always get mocked by not buying something when I have the ability to afford it, and then everyone goes, "Is this guy question mark question?" Alright, I'm dead. Alright, so we're gonna run it back. That's fitting timing. It just, life comes at you fast or something. I don't know what the heck I was thinking there. It's a shame, because that was a great run. We were having a good time. You know what? Swallowed penny. It's worth a shot, maybe. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, that sucked. Anyway. Well, comedic timing. I feel like the comedic timing has been a little dormant for a bit. There was like that Dark Souls randomizer a couple years ago, where it was popping off every time I would say, like, literally anything. I would be faced with being ashamed of my words and my deeds immediately. And it's kind of it's been a little bit more laissez-faire from there. Or in the past year or so. Hey, not again, not again. Thank you. Okay. But it's cool. It's a Saturday. Last week around this time, we were finally starting to acknowledge that we were actually a little bit under the weather. Which was a sobering thought after, you know, like a year and a half of experiencing no symptoms of illness whatsoever and just choosing to... I mean, again, I want to be clear. It's not like we thought, like, we're gonna live forever and, like, our immune systems are perfect. But until you're forced to, you know, face the hard truth that you've got some kind of rhinovirus or something like that, it's easy to just push it to the side. Maybe I'll never get ill ever again. Well, okay, we got something minor last week. We got over it. I think it's your classic, you know, kids are hanging around each other at daycare and activity gym and, you know, sticking their hand in their mouth and then rubbing it, you know, on every other surface that they can see, and then they come home to their parents. It's hard to socially distance from your baby, especially, like, you know, if you're nursing. Anyway, we're over it, which is nice. And I got to feel, I especially, it's a little tone deaf, you know, while we're still in the middle of a pandemic, to talk about, like, the potential, you know, positives of being sick, of which I think, you know, there aren't many. But there can sometimes be silver linings that you can take from it. One of the silver linings you can take is that first day when you wake up and you think to yourself, or maybe sometimes you don't even think to yourself, you know? You don't even audit whether or not you're actually ill. You just go get breakfast, you get a cup of coffee. We're just going to leave that for a second. We might only get one roll on this floor. I'd rather save it for a deal with the devil. And then, excuse me, well, look at this little creep, man. What a Weasley little liar, dude. Anyway, you don't even think about it. Then, like, you know, it's lunchtime, and you're like, wait a minute, wasn't I sick yesterday? But then today, well, we are going to get many rerolls, apparently. You don't even feel any ill effects. That's the dream, man. That first day, when you actually appreciate the clean nasal passages, which sounds like a Super Auto Pets team. It's a dream. That's the one positive. Okay, that's an embarrassment right there. I will spend another bomb to get a bomb. You might be saying, but NL, you sound a little bit nasal right now. I assure you that I am, but that's a different kind of nasalness. I don't necessarily expect you to understand unless you think this could work? Nope. Unless you're well-versed in your own body, unless you understand yourself very well. You know what? I am willing to do this as well. But I have morning congestion right now. And morning congestion and illness congestion are two different things. Morning congestion is like, you know, my body naively still wants like 9 hours of sleep. On average, I'm giving it like 7. So it punishes me by making me sound a little bit like I'm a nerd from a 1980s John Hughes movie, okay? I blow my nose once after this is over. I sound like the alpha male that we all know I am. And then, I go about the rest of my day. No problem. There's a difference. We are not the same. Don't compare us. So you might say, you're being a little bit fast and loose with the purchases here. I wouldn't disagree. All I would say is that I'm buying, items that are prudent. And 2 tiers upgrades is very prudent in my world. Those are, they control for potentially the greatest chance of success. Okay. Excuse me, golden pennies disappeared? It's the kind of... a penny... I just watched a penny remove itself from the ecosystem. Are you okay? I'm speaking to the game, not to you. Are you okay? Okay, 23 cents. Got a D20 back there? I will say a D20 when you create a bunch of coins on the ground seems kind of funny. But I'm like, you know, you can go back into the annals of Isaac history. I'm kind of like a D20 hater. Like, I shouldn't be. I know it's actually good. But it just kind of annoys me, quite frankly. Berserk. I mean, the D6 is cool. Berserker is like, is some top tier stuff. Give me another tiers upgrade. We're supposed to go to the Lamb. Is such a thing even possible? Yeah, I think absolutely such a thing is possible. I actually feel like, because when you're in Berserk mode, or am I thinking of like Samson's weird rage or whatever, but when you're in Berserk mode, you can't get lethaled, right? So as long as you kill an enemy, even if you go down to 0 HP, as long as you kill an enemy and can grab the coin while you're in Berserker status, you should be good to go. Source, dude, just trust me. Let's see what we got in here. Yuck cart? I don't think so. One of the hardest lessons I've had to learn in Repentance is, Yum hearts, or, yuck hearts, as much as I would love the concept of them, actually, I think they're kind of, oh, okay, sure. Uh-oh. Well, bit wasted. That's okay. Life goes on. I think I could just step on this real quick. Thank you so much. We only have 16 cents. Let's explore a little bit first. So how am I doing? I'm doing well, honestly. I'm loving life. Well, you know, I'm okay with it. Loving life is like, I don't know, sometimes you do have those. I don't know if anybody else is in the same boat. I'm going to assume I'm not the DAE on this one. Go through phases where, like, every once in a while, it'll strike you weird, you know? It'll just be, like, the perfect temperature, the perfect humidity. You walk outside, like, a cool breeze hits you in the face, and then, like, Bill Withers' Lovely Day starts playing, you know, just in your head, not in, like, a store or anything. When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hurts my eye, you know. And you're like, you know what? This is kind of sick. Could be, maybe you just got a delicious boba/bubble tea, depending on your nomenclature. But a good mood can strike out of nowhere. But when people are perpetually in a great mood, that's where I get suspicious and expect... Sure, I will still buy. I expect that any moment now, they're going to be like, love and life, man, love and life, rise and grind, love and life. By the way, can I interest you in purchasing? And it could be either... a set of Cutco knives, or it could be an MLM system like a LuLaRoe or some kind of essential oils, or they're going to be like, you know, hey, come out to this protest at City Hall, we got to stop this madness, and I got to be like, oh, sorry. I get you're playing a numbers game here, but this you're barking up the wrong tree right now. I'm not paying 15 cents for a speed upgrade here. I will, people sometimes, and now we're pivoting off of like 10 different things conversationally, but that's because I got nothing to talk about. It's like not even 9 a.m. on a Saturday yet. It's literally 8:59. 9 a.m. is where things start to get crazy, man. Things start to get crazy. Oh, man. I don't know what kind of craziness we're going to get up to today. Go to activity gym. Sing a couple of songs. The more we get together. Dude, you don't know. We go hard. At activity gym, we go hard. I'm giving it my all for every single one of those songs. I'm not a good singer, but I have a lot of enthusiasm at activity gym, okay? A lot of the other parents, I get it, especially when they're new at the activity gym, they're a little self-conscious. You know, in particular, some of the lyrics get changed every now and then. I don't know, Bird Familiar is kind of okay, but... You know, they change the lyrics to be themed around, like, you know, babies or something like that. So you might be thinking, like, I know this song. This is, like, you know, Just Haven't Met You Yet by John Mayer. Ladies and gentlemen, John Mayer! You know, this, how much time do you spend online? The answer is too much if you understand that reference. Someone in the comments will explain it. I'm not going to do you the disservice of removing the treasure hunt on that one. Hey, get over here. What are you doing? Saved? Saved. Okay, I need money. Oh, okay, we're still okay. Sure, this time for 15 cents, I'll grab that. I kind of want night light, but 5 cents? It's a heavy price if we don't get it. What do we got in there? A battery? I'd consider it. Sometimes I talk about, and I hope that there are other city people that will back me up here. Let's try this. I'm okay with where we're at. I hope other city people will back me up here. I hope you don't do the city thing and leave me hanging and go, you know, that's not my problem, but maybe tomorrow I'll be in the same boat and no one's gonna help me, so I'm not gonna help you now. But I talk about how, like, come on, man. On the street in particular, at least in Vancouver, but in other cities where I've lived as well, you know, in Daegu, South Korea, not that many people stop me. But I did kind of learn that, you know, when you're on the street in a foreign country and somebody stops you, oftentimes you're about to be a part of, you know, whatever kind of like headcanon they got going on for their day, you know? You're about to be invited, and not in a negative way necessarily, but you're about to be invited to like a language exchange, or, you know, the number of times you'll just be outside and, like, you know, kids will be gawking at you, and then they'll go, hello, like you see them like poking their friends, like, hey, look at him, do it, hi, and then you just go hi, and then they go, how are you, and then you go, I'm fine, how are you, and they go, I'm fine, thank you, and you, and then there's just an awkward silence, and they go, I'm Jenny, and you go, hi, Jenny, and then that's the extent of the conversation usually. I mean, they're like 7, 8 years old, right? I know I told this story before, but it's been a long time. Kate and I went to South Korea for vacation in 2018, and we went to an amusement park called Everland, which is like indoors, and is pretty mild. But even for me, a mild amusement park is scary, right? Regardless. While we were there, I had the misfortune, and I know it's gonna sound rude, but, like, you know, it was annoying, and I think you would be annoyed too. I had the misfortune of being adjacent to, like, an English class that was going on their own field trip, and then I got spotted by, like, the teacher. The teacher came over to me, and there were like 4 teachers, but one of the teachers came over and was like, hey, we're teaching, like, an English class for young kids. Would it be okay if, like, you know, they came over to you and practiced their English and just had, like, a little conversation? So I was like, yeah, it's no problem. And we had the conversation with, like, one of the kids. And then I saw, like, the same school uniforms all over the amusement park, and that became, like, I got asked, like, minimum 4 kids. I was doing, like, interviews with them, which, by the way, is, like, it's a nice thing to do, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna break their worldview and be like, sorry kiddos, already did my time, check it out, then, like, roll up my sleeve and be like, you know, ESL teacher 2010 to 2011, and then, like, I don't know, like a fish with a gun or something like that. By the way, did I get, like, does the swarm give you an insane rate of fire decrease or something? Like, why am I bad now? This run was good, and now we can't just give you the flies. We gotta take something away. Oh, thanks. I guess I'm not picking up any of this money because I respect Berserk too much, but I really do want to keep it going for the deal with the devil if possible, or for the boss fight if possible, because it's our best damage dealer by far. Anyway, you know, you're an outlier, you get stopped. You rarely get stopped in, like, any kind of negative way, but, you know, sometimes it'll be a drain on your time. But in this city, I learned very quickly, and my parents are still learning this lesson when they come to visit. If somebody says hi to you on the street, especially, like, if you're in a very busy part of the city, but really any part of the city, but especially if you're, like, downtown, and somebody goes like, hey, you just ice them. And I know this sounds like this is an erosion of what holds us together as human beings, And if you want to see it that way without having experienced it for yourself, then I can't stop you. I don't encourage you to do it, but I can't stop you. I understand. I lived in a different environment for most of my life, at least until, I moved to Vancouver. The environment I lived in, you'd be walking to work at 8 a.m. If you crossed another person on the sidewalk, you would tip down your wide-brimmed hat and you would say, "Hello to you, sir," and they would say, "Good day," and you would revel in this kind of civic connection that you had. But that's not the way it works here, and it's because, like, every interaction I've had with a stranger where they have kind of initiated the interaction on the street has either led to me getting, like, verbally abused a little bit, or alternatively, and this is kind of like the classic. You see someone wearing, like, a blue polar fleece vest, and they go, "Hey, nice shoes," and you go, "Thank you," and then they go, "Would you like to give money to World Vision?" And I'm like, "I would like to." And yet, for some reason that I need to tease apart myself, I'm not going to, like, right now. But, like, I intend to. Like, in my head, I see myself as the kind of person who would do that. But for some... it wasn't what I expected when I walked out the door with my reusable grocery bags, I guess. In my head, I'm like, I gotta get cantaloupe, I gotta get honeydew. You know what? I'll do it for 15 cents. We're economically set right now. So you just caught me at a strange time, I guess. So now I hate to say it, but you don't acknowledge strangers on the sidewalk that try to talk to you here. And I understand, depending on where you're from, that might seem like, again, a betrayal of the social contract. Maybe it is, but I'm telling you, the only reason I do it is because I had my own social contract betrayed. They drew first blood. They drew first blood. Now, of course, if someone stopped me on this... it's crazy to think... Like, when I think back to the mid-2000s, it's almost like the way that I used to feel about the 1980s. Like, it sounds like such a distant past. There were times, when I was going to university, one time specifically, I was just walking down the street. A truck that was driving pulled over and said, "Hey, hey," and I said, "Yes, sir. What appears to be the problem? How can I help you?" And he said, "How do I get to Montana's?" Which is a restaurant chain in Canada, typically located in strip malls. And I said, "Buddy, oh my God, you are downtown. Imagine the egg on your face when you realize Montana's is uptown." So what you got to do is you got to take Princess. You're gonna turn right here. You're gonna take Princess all the way down. Once you get down all the way, you're gonna turn left on King Street. You're gonna find Brock Street. You're gonna take Brock Street up a little bit. You're gonna follow that to Bath Road. You're gonna turn left on Bath Road. Then you're gonna find a right turn onto Gardner's near the RioCan Center, and then you can't miss the Montana's. It's the tallest building in the city. And he said, "Thank you so much, kind stranger, for your help. I'll never forget this." Now, here's the thing. The directions I just gave you right there were actually, like, pretty good, although you would never take Princess, especially, like, all the way down to the waterfront just to get uptown. You would just pull, like, an illegal U-turn somewhere, unless you were insane. But the instructions that I gave that guy were exactly wrong by accident. I was like, "I think you turn left here and then go this way, and then you can't miss it." And then, like, 30 seconds later, I was like, I just doomed that man. Because that is not the right way to go at all. Like, literally, I sent him on, like, a wild goose chase. Now, in my defense, well, there's no defense. One of the things I should say in my own defense, I guess, is that, what I should have done is just been like, yeah, I don't really know, but I was compelled to feel like I would be helpful. So I tried to help, and hopefully, eventually, he found it. Sources say... Some people say on a cool winter's night, you can still hear him driving around the corners of Princess and Albert Street asking for how to get to the Montanas. It's a great ghost story. 'Tis the season, early November, quite spooky. Anyway, but it feels so weird that, like, you would just, like, in the like, you would pull over and ask just, like, a random human being for directions? Doesn't that seem like one of the most insane things when you look at, like, where our current, you know, capabilities as a society are? I'm not saying that literally everybody has a GPS in their car, because that's not true. But, I mean, what is GPS adoption at? Or alternatively, like, you know, a cell phone that has GPS capabilities? I think you piece. I gotta not lethal myself. There you go. Perfect. Perfect. No. I need a coin! Oh, saved. Not saved. 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 Okay, we're going to the lamb. Take this. Look at this. No. No. The fact that you want to charge me for those is actually, like, that's cruel. Anyway, take me down. Now, like, it just... In the mid-2000s, I'm here to tell you, it was normal. It was normal. Maybe you'd be, like, on a road trip somewhere. You'd be like, I don't know where we're going. You'd just pull over. You'd find, like, somebody in a coffee shop and be like, how do I get to... And then you would just insert the name of any destination. And they'd be like, oh, yeah, what you want to... There's two different ways you can do it. You can go east on Commercial. But if there's traffic or construction on Commercial, then what you're going to want to do is turn right on Clark Drive. And you're going to take Clark Drive down until you get to, you know, Venables. And then, blah, blah. Like, people just knew where things were. And I actually think this is causing a problem to some extent. Because that's kind of amazing, but my parents now go through this, I notice when I'm home. If there's like a sense of pride, which I can relate to, because, you know, once in Vancouver, our SD card got stolen out of our car that had the map data for the city. As a result, you know, I was driving around on visual references only, you know? Like, come on, you gotta take it. Even if it's garbage, you gotta take it. I didn't have any instruments, you know? And I started to get a sense of, like, self-confidence and maybe even ego, pardon me, out of it. Because I was like, wow, dude, I don't need a GPS to get wherever I want to go anymore. I just know, you know, if you want to go east, you take one of these. If you want to go north, you take one of these major thoroughfares, you know, blah, blah, blah. And that's that. But the flip side to that is that I probably took, like, you know, 15 to 20% longer to get to any destination, because instead of taking the algorithmically derived fastest route, I just went like, well, you take, you know, you get on, you know, Cambie if you're going north-south, or like, you know, King Edward or something like that. Or if you're going east-west, you can get on Broadway. I guess you can get on like West 4th if you're, you know, psychotic or something like that. It tends to be a little bit busy. Plus, you know, it's not my ideal neighborhood. It's not spicy. I just, you know, I mean, come on. Anybody here from Vancouver? Kitsilano, look, you got the beach. Don't get me wrong. Just annoys me when I'm on the seawall by Kitsilano and you're enjoying this beautiful, like, bike ride. Then you get to Chip Wilson, a.k.a. the CEO of Lululemon's house, and you got to go around because he and the other people that live in that neighborhood refuse to compromise their private beachfront access. Anyway, but that's, like, neither here nor there. I'm not trying to get into civic politics with you. What I will say is I think that it leads to pride, but some inefficiencies. You know what they say, pride comes before the fall, man. Pride comes before the fall. So my parents, when I'm in my hometown, like, they'll use a GPS if they're in, like, another part of, you know, I mean, even if they're in Vancouver, they'll use a Google Maps to get from their hotel just by walking to, like, you know, SkyTrain station or the mall or something like that. But when they're in my hometown, even if they've never been someplace, they won't put it in a GPS. What they'll do is, like, mentally, they'll put it in a GPS. What is it on? Oh, it's on Sir John A. Macdonald Boulevard. Okay, well, then what we're going to do is we're going to go take, you know, take Johnson Street, and we're going to, from Johnson Street, we're then going to take, you know, Cataraqui Woods Drive, and then we're going to, you know, I'm just trying to come up with random street names from my hometown. Okay, that's a nice tiers upgrade. Now we're talking. The idea now, it would just be audacious, right? Like, if I was walking through you know, Vancouver, and somebody pulled over and was like, oh, excuse me, like, where's the Royal Bank building? I would be like, I don't know. Shouldn't I be asking you? It seems like you have business there. Like, let me get this straight. You have to be somewhere, and yet you're asking a random stranger on the street where this building that you have relevant business with is going to be. It seems like you should be the expert. If anything, you should have a sign on your truck that says, ask me where the Royal Bank building is, because I'm going there later today. The other thing is, and it annoys me, I'm sure this annoys other city people too, but people that don't live in cities, which again is fine, they have like naive opinions about, sometimes, about what it's like to like live in a city. Like they think it's sad that people in the city like don't stop and say hi to each other. Like, I'm not saying I'm the busiest man in the world, but when you see somebody, it's like 11 a.m. in downtown Vancouver, they got stuff to do, man. They're like at work, they're going to meetings. Hey, I got to get to this lunch thing really quickly. You know, just to have somebody stop and be like, hello, is like, you know, okay, hello, can we get back to our lives now, you know? I will say, though, I think it's one of the things where a few bad actors have kind of like ruined it for everybody. I think it would be kind of sick if you could pass people on the street and give them at least a smile. But, you know, you liable to get smiled at on the street. If you smile back, you never know what kind of conversations coming your way after that. But I'll say the baby is kind of a cheat code for that as well. I exchange a lot of, like, friendly Civic smiles on the street thanks to the baby. People look at the baby in the stroller and they go, aw, and then I give them a smile, they give me a smile. And I like to think that it brightens humanity up a little bit. It's kind of like I'm doing like moral community service or something. Morale community service, I guess. I mean, she's a cute baby. What can you say, you know? Anyway. I get a little annoyed sometimes too, and we had that brief moment there where it seemed like all was right in the world, and I was talking about, you know, getting along with your fellow humanity. Let's bring it back to being a little bit cynical. I feel like if you have a newborn, you're out for a walk, whether it's strapped into the baby Bjorn or a stroller, a bassinet, you're holding the baby in your hands, you know. We're all in this together. It's like how dog walkers, I've never been a dog owner, but when you see a dog and you are also walking a dog, you have kind of an obligation as the person walking the dog to let the dogs like sniff each other and then be like, oh, he probably smells the other dogs at home and blah blah blah. Oh, he's okay, careful. Oh, hey, don't do that. No, it's okay, you know? Like that's what you signed up for. It's part of the dog walking contract. If two dogs like started to smell each other and then the owners just walked by without even getting in a conversation, you would be like, whoa, what the heck happened? There must be beef. Maybe at the off-leash park, like somebody asked for an Elysian and you gave them a JJ Bean instead. You know what I mean? No? Okay, cool. That's fine. That joke's just for me then. Nothing wrong with JJ Bean, by the way. Something had to be the butt of the joke there. Tim Hortons is so far down the coffee power rankings, it doesn't even show up in the punchline GPT-3 Markov chain, okay? But I feel like it should be the same with babies. Like, I don't interact with strangers on a regular basis. I'm in my own head. I'm listening to podcasts and stuff, right? How am I supposed to follow, you know, the story of Sha Na Na trying to change their name to Tina Turner so that they can be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? And also be expected to maintain like some sort of sense of social connection with a bunch of strangers that I'm walking by. That being said, I make an effort when I see a parent with a stroller coming towards me. I look at their baby, they look at my baby, we smile at each other with a knowing smile that says, huh, we've got a shared experience. We're in this together. I would say 75% of parents are, you know, we're in the club together. We share a knowing glance I will say, in fact, one of the only times I've actually found myself saying hello to people now is if I got the baby out for a walk. In particular, if I'm walking by a dad of a child who's in a stroller or a baby Bjorn, I will initiate an up nod, which is a knowing like, hey, we have something in common and I see you there. And then oftentimes they will reciprocate or perhaps even escalate with a, how you doing? And I'll say, hey. And then that's it. And honestly, like, we're basically best friends at that point. But I'm surprised. I get a little, let's say offended. But there's, every once in a while, you know, you walk by a parent and, you know, you give their baby a glance that's like, hey, baby. And they don't give your baby a glance. Or they give your baby a glance, but then they don't give you the knowing look afterwards of like, you're that baby's parent. And I'm like, oh, somebody thinks they're important. How many YouTube subscribers you got? I mean, it's possible you're a bigger deal than me. I mean, it's been known. Like, I'm not the biggest deal on the planet. I'm just saying, like, there's people out there that would like to make eye contact and then give me an up nod. I guess I'll just die. Yep. I had fun. I don't know what you want me to say. We should have won this one easily, but it kind of fell apart. All in one moment. But hey, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps it a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. I'm going to go blow my nose, and I'll see you next time. See ya!